Commonwealth Bank on WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. And it is time now for one of our interview segments presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And we are joined once again this morning by Indiana County Commissioner Sherene Hess, and this interview also being streamed on our Facebook page as well. So if you're watching on Facebook, you'll see her there. How you doing, Sherene? Mary?
Yeah, all that.
Did you have a good holiday?
Well, good morning. And yes, I had a great holiday. It was a different kind of holiday. You know, they're all a little different these days. No great big day of celebration, a little bit here and a little bit there, and had a wonderful time.
I know the feeling. We'll talk off mic about that, though. But it's been a busy year for Indiana County's commissioners. I mean, it was talked about the last time that the three of you actually were here, but one of the things that we wanted to focus on a little bit was kind of the work on the agriculture front, the State Farmland Preservation Board. You're key on that. Talk about some of the things that have been going on as of late. Sure.
And so I was very honored to be appointed by Governor Shapiro to the Farmland Agricultural Preservation Board is what it's actually called. And this is an effort. Many years ago, the citizens of Pennsylvania, of the Commonwealth, voted in favor of preserving prime farmland from development, from residential or commercial development. So fast forward to today, Pennsylvania is the top state in the preservation of farmland, many thousands of acres. And we're talking prime farmland. This is top-class soils. There's an effort to try to preserve farms that are next to each other, adjacent to each other, so that you have bigger blocks. And this is all in an effort to make sure our food systems are strong. So, so I've gone to several meetings and been a part of a pretty neat thing.
It's not just an environmental thing either. This is an economic thing as well because of the fact that the farm industry is still one of the major drivers of Pennsylvania's economy.
It absolutely is. It is a top driver of the economy, and locally it is as well, agriculture. And and we don't talk about just, growing corn and beans and sorghum and things like that. It's all about, trees, for instance. We've got lots of tree farms, especially in Indiana County, and that's a big deal. And all sorts of fibers and fuel. The ag sector is folks who grow a lot of the things that produce fuel for our country.
It's going to be big, I can imagine. So looking ahead on as far as that goes, what is the Preservation Board going to be working on in the upcoming year?
Well, we're going to see.
Or is it more of the same?
It's more of the same, pretty much. And you've got a lot of development pressure in places like Lancaster and Chester and the southeastern part of the country, the state. But even in places like Indiana County, and we have a farmland preservation board too. We don't have huge development pressures, but we do have farms that are worth saving, worth preserving, and basically what an owner is doing is selling the development right to the county and to the state. And so they basically say they still own the farm, but they sell that right, but they get compensated for it.
Right, and that will help them financially, obviously.
Correct.
But it also means that with that development right, the county or the state makes a promise that there will not be any major construction developments like stores or anything like along those lines in those areas that need to be preserved.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears to CCAP, the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania. Your work on that board, you've been one of the main representatives for Indiana County these many years.
Yeah.
So talk about. I know that each year that CCAP likes to set a goal or has a mission for the year coming. Has CCAP got its 2024 goal to go?
Yes, we have, and yes, I'm really proud to represent Indiana County. I think it's an organization that I get so much from when I go to those meetings and sit in with other commissioners and hear about how things are being done in other counties, and and then also offer up what we're doing in Indiana County. It's a great discussion, a great dialogue. And yes, there are some new goals every year. The organization sets its priorities for legislative priorities, and this year they are dealing with the mental health field. Still, we're working on mental health. Elections integrity, broadband expansion, and we're talking about mental health also in the jail population. We have serious issue there, and all counties are dealing with it. That seems to be the place now because there are not a lot of beds available for folks with the severe mental health issues. They end up intersecting with the law, with the legal end of things, and end up incarcerated, unfortunately.
This is where a place like the upcoming mental health facility for Indiana Regional Medical Center could really help out Indiana County anyway.
Oh, it will be an enormous help. We're looking forward to that. It's a major a development this year that happened, and through many partnerships. But we are really thankful for IRMC stepping up and all the partners who've made that possible.
So, the priorities, as you mentioned, mental health being chief among them, and of course you mentioned the other ones being election integrity. I kind of feel that Indiana County kind of leads in the election integrity category because the commissioners have always done with the election committee and with the public testing of the machines and everything like that. Yeah. Everything's right out in the open.
For sure, yeah. And many years ago, Indiana County started with basically paper ballots, which is what all the counties had to go back to after the some years ago there's been a lot of developments in elections.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
It's all good. I think every system needs its improvements, and there are a lot of eyes on elections, and sure, there are going to be human errors, but there are checks and balances correct in these systems that find those and correct them.
Yeah, and sometimes you get corrected right at the ballot box.
Oh, for sure.
Because of the fact, I remember one time the ballot came out, it came back to me, it said, you didn't fill in this part. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering, okay, I missed a spot.
And if you make an overvote, you'll get corrected.
You get corrected there, and they say, get a new ballot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to have that second chance due to a technical error. It didn't have anything to do with you trying to do anything to the ballot. It was just a technical error.
But like I was saying, it was like Indiana was kind of on the forefront of that before the whole issue, I think, came out nationally as well.
It really was. We had what they call the voter verifiable paper trail, and we talked about that many years ago. So there was some real leadership there.
All right, let's talk about the Sustainable Economic Development Task Force and your part on that. How are things going with that this year?
Really well. We held our 6th sustainability summit in October, and I'm really proud to say we had a full day of events talking about how renewable agriculture, sustainable agriculture, I should say, renewable energy, environmental stewardship, and how all those things are here and being invested in through the federal and state levels, and how we're bringing those ideas and those things to Indiana County. And we had a full conference at no charge, open to anyone who wanted to attend. Mm-hmm. We had sponsors who paid for a lunch. We really work hard to make that a very community-minded event that does not cost the county anything. Really, hopefully we're going to do number 7 coming up next, 2024.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yeah, and some big news coming in the sustainability arena related to workforce development and getting to people and revitalizing communities, and that's what sustainability is. A lot of revolves on. There's we'll have some big news on that. I can't announce it right now. The press release is embargoed, but we're pretty excited about things.
Let us know whenever that can be sent over to us. Okay.
Sure will.
All right, we're talking with Indiana County Commissioner Sherene Hess. One thing, of course, that has been on a lot of people's minds has been the budget process this year.
Yes.
2 budgets drafts came towards the commissioners, and they failed to get a second, so they were essentially rejected. Obviously, tax increases, it just seemed like it was a pretty big spike. Talk about the work that has gone in to try to get that tax increase down.
Yeah, it would have been in middle of November we presented, a budget was presented, and we, as you said, it was rejected. It was just too much. We knew it was a budget that we just couldn't support. Mm-hmm. So we worked a little bit on it and came back, and it was still a little bit too much. And in the recent weeks, we've worked to bring the deficit down. There's a major deficit, and that's due to investments that have been made over the years. It's due to all the reasons you can think of that costs are really difficult these days.
And with costs continuing to increase, that wreaks havoc on the budget as well.
County government is going to have to figure out how to work differently, work however that looks. And I don't know the answers to that, but we are all committed to making that happen. It is my it is my intention to, in my next 4 years, to reverse this unfortunate trend of having a deficit every budget that we pass.
Definitely. So, speaking of that, with the current budget, even though the preliminary budget was passed, and it still had, we'll call it a workable deficit.
Yes.
It's still being worked on. It's still being hacked down, I would imagine, over the past few
it's
weeks.
till the last moment we're thinking about it. And of course, Friday's the day that we're going to vote on to adopt.
Friday's the day. That is the deadline. It has to be in. Otherwise,
it doesn't happen very often. In fact, one occasion, maybe 20 years ago in another county, where they did not pass a budget by December 31st, and they literally had to shut their government down. And I don't even know what that looks like exactly, but it's not good.
Last and worst case scenario.
Definitely.
All right. But still, a lot has happened in 2023.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Let's end this on a positive note.
Right on.
What are you looking forward to in 2024?
Well, all the things we mentioned, I think there are a lot of federal investments being made. We are seeing money from the Inflation Reduction Act, the Bipartisan Jobs Act, for infrastructure developments. We are seeing new and increased amounts of transportation funding. So I look for our parks and trails to really ramp up. And that's what a lot of what we're working on is outdoor recreation. I look for all of our human services agencies are working hard. Even despite all the federal investments and all the, we see certain positive things in the economy, there are still people suffering. So we are going to work hard on making things better for people, making sure our services get to more people as much as we can.
Excellent. Sherene, thank you very much for joining us. Please pass along my good wishes to your cohorts up there.
I will.
For a wonderful and happy new year.
Same to you, Josh, and thank you.
Thanks again. Indiana County Commissioner Sherene Hess joining us this morning on Indiana in the Morning. Our interview presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. It's 8:57, so coming up in just a few minutes, we'll have the latest from Fox News at the top of the hour. Then I'll have the latest headlines. We'll keep you updated on that developing story in Indiana Borough, White Township border area this morning on North 4th Street. And we'll also keep you updated with the other latest local news headlines. Jake Slobodnik, of course, will be back in with sports, and we'll be talking with an etiquette expert about holiday tipping. That's all coming up on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank.
This Christmas, Grand Beginnings Children's Center wishes you and your family a season